right now in the school system, we've got a silent epidemic going on right now because, and it was exacerbated by the pandemic because it's amazing how many people in America right now. I just had a woman on recently that works nationally with the education programs, and she says 130 million Americans can't read at the most basic level. And I said, define basic level for me. And she said basic level is they can't read a prescription label. They can't read a simple story to their children at bedtime.
130 million.
130 million.
So that's more than a third of the whole country.
Can't read a simple story to their children.
That's insane. It's really that many?
Yeah, this is, and further to that, 32% of fourth graders can't read at even a basic level, and 24% of eighth graders can't read at a basic level, and 19% of high school graduates, according to the Department of Education, can't read. Graduates. Now, how does that work? You're graduating high school, but you can't read at the most basic level. So when I'm saying there's a silent epidemic, we've got some schools that are changing their grading standards to close the gap.
So they're making it easier.
Well, one of them that we looked at, a C is now 44 to 64%. You make 45, you got a C. You take a test, get 45, you made a C.
Wow.
Now, was that not an F when you went to school?
That was an F, yeah.
That was
now
an F.
Now it's a C?
Yeah, now 44 to 64 is a C.
70 was always a C.
Right. That was a C minus because that was the bottom of the C's, right?
Right.
So now 44 to 64 is a C, 64 to 84 is a B, 84 to 100 is an A. You got to drop below 24 to get an F.
Wow, 24.
Now that's how they're closing the gap and pushing them on to the next grade. So if you can make a average of 30, you get a D, that's passing, you move on to the next level.
So instead of fixing things, it just made it easier for people to get through.
Yeah. And I don't see how that's going to work.
No. I mean, if you were a real conspiracy theorist and you really wanted to believe that there was someone that was trying to destroy America from within slowly, this would be the way to do it. All the things we talked about. Make it easy for people to be homeless, make people think that the world owes them something, equality of outcome is the desired result, everyone who's wealthy is evil. If you think there's something wrong with the world, throw soup at a painting and glue yourself to the wall. I mean, the stuff that we're reinforcing and the way that it's happening so rapidly. I mean, you're older than me. Has there ever been a time in your life where you thought that America could get to the point where it's at now?
No, I have to honestly say no. And further to that point, I've got to say that you get to a point where you start getting scared about whether or not this is something we can come back from. And I'm an incurable optimist. And I really do believe that if people will stop arguing and decide, look, I'm not here to win an argument. I'm here to solve a problem. If people will just take that attitude, we can really change some things that are going on here. Because I'm an incurable optimist, and I do think we can solve this problem. And we've got a lot of kids right now that are experiencing anxiety, depression, and homelessness at the highest levels that we've had since we started keeping records of this kind of thing, which is not that long ago. It's not like since the 1700s. We've just been keeping these records for, I think they really started keeping good records in the, maybe since 12, somewhere back in there. But these are the highest levels that we've seen. And the pandemic didn't cause that, but it really spiked it because these kids were out of school and they got really scared of the pandemic. They lost loved ones. They were afraid of this invisible monster out there. We're going to have to deal with that. And we're going to have to deal with the fact that they lost a lot of time and a lot of learning that put them further behind than we already were. And we need, you said something's got to happen for people to come together. We need to come together for these kids. We need to come together and recognize that we're about to lose a generation here, and we can fix this.